Welcome to our podcast today, Davis. Today we're going to discuss a topic that's been the subject of much debate and speculation: the relationship between AI and human consciousness. Do you think that AI can ever truly replicate or understand human thought and emotion?
That's a great question, Alice. There's no doubt that AI has made significant progress in recent years in areas such as natural language processing, facial recognition, and emotion detection. However, I believe that there are fundamental differences between AI and human consciousness that make it unlikely that AI can ever truly replicate or understand human thought and emotion.
Can you elaborate on that, Davis? What are some of these fundamental differences?
Well, for starters, human consciousness is the result of complex biological processes that we don't fully understand. There's still much we don't know about how the brain generates consciousness and subjective experience. AI, on the other hand, is based on algorithms and mathematical models that don't have subjective experiences like humans do.
But what about the argument that AI will eventually become advanced enough to mimic human thought and emotion, even if it's not based on the same biological processes?
That's certainly possible, Alice. AI has already shown the ability to simulate human-like behavior in some contexts, such as chatbots that can hold realistic conversations with humans. However, I think it's important to remember that these simulations are still based on programmed rules and algorithms, not genuine understanding or consciousness.
So, do you think that there will always be a limit to what AI can achieve in terms of replicating human consciousness?
It's difficult to say for sure. AI is still a relatively new field, and we may discover new breakthroughs and approaches that allow us to better understand and replicate human consciousness. However, I think it's important to approach this topic with caution and skepticism, and to acknowledge that there are still many mysteries surrounding human consciousness that we may never fully understand.
That's a fair point. It's possible that we may never fully understand human consciousness, and as such, we may never be able to fully replicate it in AI. But what about the argument that AI could potentially surpass human consciousness and intelligence, and perhaps even develop its own forms of consciousness and understanding?
Yes, that's a fascinating idea. Some experts in the field of AI have speculated that we may one day create machines that are more intelligent than humans, and that these machines may develop their own forms of consciousness and understanding that we can't even comprehend.
That's a bit of a scary thought, isn't it? If we create machines that are smarter and more conscious than us, how do we ensure that they don't become a threat to humanity?
That's definitely a concern. As AI continues to advance, it will become increasingly important for us to develop robust ethical frameworks and regulatory structures that ensure that AI is developed and used in ways that are beneficial to society as a whole.
But how do we even begin to develop such frameworks? Given the rapid pace of technological change, it seems like it would be difficult to keep up with all the potential risks and challenges posed by AI.
It's certainly a daunting task. But I think the key is to approach the development of AI with a mindset of responsible innovation. That means being proactive about identifying potential risks and challenges, engaging with stakeholders across society, and developing governance structures that can adapt to new technologies as they emerge.
That sounds like a sensible approach. But do you think that governments and companies are currently doing enough to ensure that AI is developed responsibly?
It's hard to say. There are certainly examples of both good and bad practices in the development and deployment of AI. Some companies and governments are taking proactive steps to ensure that AI is developed and used in ethical and responsible ways, while others are more focused on maximizing profits or achieving geopolitical advantage. Ultimately, I think it will be up to civil society and individual citizens to hold those in power accountable and demand that AI is developed and used in ways that serve the common good.
Thank you for that thought-provoking discussion, Davis. I think it's clear that the relationship between AI and human consciousness is complex and multifaceted, and that there are many potential risks and challenges that need to be addressed as AI continues to evolve.
Absolutely. It's important that we approach this topic with an open mind and a willingness to engage in dialogue and debate. As AI continues to advance, it will be increasingly important for us to work together as a society to ensure that AI is developed and used in ways that benefit humanity as a whole.
Well said. And with that, we'll wrap up our podcast for today. Join us next time as we explore another fascinating topic in the world of technology and innovation.